Title: Peer Stories. Leigh speaking beside Tania.
Seeing what Tania does, coming from a nursing home, from leaving there, which is fantastic for you. Leaving there and just living your life with your family and doing amazing things, because you are an amazing advocate and you are a champion. You're pushing through the boundaries, what you're doing.
Thanks, Dawn.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
Tania.
Sure, I got out of a nursing home and stuff like that, but I know when I did get out, I had a drive. I just wanted to make sure other people in, institutions and nursing homes had a chance to get out also. And yeah, that's what I really love about Leigh. He's put himself out there into a market where, he could be pushed aside or judged quite easily, and he's put himself out there and he just keeps going for it. And I really do admire him for that. And that's why I love watching what he does, and yeah, it's awesome. I'm proud of you.
Dave speaking beside Cath.
Cath and I attend a lot of meetings together, and so that sometimes means out of the office. So we're going to places around Newcastle, and normally, obviously, a disabled taxi generally helps to get us there. And then if we're going to the venue, Cath, what sort of hangs onto the back of the chair, basically, isn't it?
Or your back or your shoulder or some part of you.
Or my shoulder, and I try not to steer into a pole on the way there.
Christine signing, voiced by an Auslan interpreter.
There was one day I met my mentor and we were there for training. And, we had this little quick conversation about how's it been? And we both sort of said, it's been great, and I'd really love to talk to you more about this. But she was in Sydney and I was in Newcastle, and we couldn't cross paths, so we agreed to Skype, good old Skype. So we got on Skype and had a conversation and spoke about how skills are improving for each of us. And it was chatting to this person that really gave me some really good ideas, and I found myself thinking, oh my God, I never quite thought of it that way. And so that gave me something different to run with. And then we touched base every so often and found out how the other was going, and it was with these conversations that we would be able to, for each other, bring a different perspective.
Ros speaking.
There's one story of a lady who wasn't happy with her son's plan, and she wanted to look at it at a different angle. She didn't want to go down the original complaints format with the NDIS. So she also wanted to make the politicians aware. She didn't know how to approach the politicians. So she requested a peer mentor to actually understand the political process of lobbying and what have you. And she actually then organised a meeting with a local MP. She then organised various people to turn up to that meeting. And out of that, she got to follow that path, and then she got to see the success of what she had done because people's plans had changed.
Cath speaking.
There are stories in peer support that kind of keep me going and keep me wanting to be involved. And one of those stories, it's the story of a person called Erin. And she was invited by someone to come to a peer group that we were running. She hadn't really done that before, and she came and she was really unhappy with her NDIS plan. She felt that while she had more money, she had less freedom and more restriction, and she felt like really good things in her life that she had loved to do were no longer possible. And so she met some peers who were feeling quite similar and who were feeling like they wanted to work together to make some changes happen. So she came away from that meeting with a really strong sense of not being alone, having support, maybe a feeling of solidarity.
Tania speaking beside Leigh.
When I first met her 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago, she was so inverted and so quiet and hardly spoken. Now she's out there killing it, she's so outspoken and she's on top of the world, and it's wonderful to see the power of peer support.
Cath.
She's been part of some videos that we've made, and she's presented at conferences, and she is just making lots of changes in her own life, all sorts of different things that she hadn't thought were possible for herself. But I think what I love about Erin's story is that she's really, really committed to the peer movement, and she says really clearly, it's being with people who have walked a mile in my shoes And the support they give me is like no other support that she feels that she gets, and absolutely is committed to the concept of paying it forward. So I've come and my life has been changed, and now I want to make sure that I'm offering that to other people.
Team Up is a project of Community Disability Alliance Hunter, New South Wales Council for Intellectual Disability, and Diversity and Disability Alliance.